Justin, go long. Hello, everybody. This week's show is brought to you by the short film, The Hike. It is actually out right now. I'll put the link in the description if you're on YouTube. If you're watching this on Facebook, go to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button while you're there, and check out this short film brought to you by WiseWorks Productions. And I actually wrote the story behind this. So if you
we only promote stuff that Zach writes.
Exactly. Because why not?
Exactly. It's our show. We can do it.
We can do it if we want. Today, we're talking about football. Football season is upon us again.
Finally.
All those shirtless people running around, chugging beer and screaming their favorite team's name. It's like heaven on earth.
Can't wait to get my tattoo. How about you, Zach?
I can't wait either. Justin, what is American football?
We have to make a distinction here because there are two footballs at least. There's soccer, or European football.
Football.
And then we have the far superior American football, which is played with a more oblong ball.
Sure.
Now, what makes football interesting is that it's divided into offense and defense. The people with the ball have possession and their offense. They have 4 downs, basically tries, to make yardage, gain ground on the enemy team. If they succeed in getting enough yards, then they get to try again. The goal is to rush down the field to the end zone, get your points, collect them, and then win the game.
Collect your points. Yeah, they have a bucket, and so when you score a touchdown, they just dump the 6 points onto your team's bucket. Then they put the buckets on a big scale at the end, and it weighs them for you.
Just like
kidding.
in Harry Potter.
But
don't
all
ask
made
us
up.
to explain why you get 6 points.
Yeah.
No one knows.
No one knows. Someone probably knows.
Someone probably knows.
We don't know.
We couldn't find out. I'm sorry. Okay, so American football. It's different from European. Why, Zach?
Well, it's actually a hybrid, right? So you have the sport of rugby, which is pretty much like football, except a lot of people get hurt and die.
So it's way more hardcore.
It's way more hardcore.
Sweet.
It's like the metal version of football. And you also have soccer, which everyone pretty much knows how soccer is played.
It's like the baby version
It's
of
just
football.
with your feet. That's it, just your feet. But those two sports, we can pretty much attribute American football to soccer. Now, soccer, I know it's basically, everyone thinks it came from Europe, but that's actually not true. We actually have, from the Han Dynasty in China, what was called Su Chu, I think. And I'm sorry if I'm ruining that. But it was a game where they had a ball stuffed with hair, fur, pretty much anything that was soft.
Sounds kinky.
Yeah, it was really nice. And they kicked it into nets that were like 30 to 40 centimeters on bamboo rods. So it wasn't exactly soccer, but there are a lot of other games like that in ancient history that will become soccer. But soccer actually started in England when the rugby players were like, hey man, I don't like this cheap game where you just play with your feet. I want to use my whole body. And the soccer players were like, no, the finesse though. You have to have the finesse. And they argued and argued, and eventually they broke off into 2 camps. One was what became rugby, and one was what became soccer. And that was actually in 1863.
Not that long ago.
No, it wasn't. So what about American football, though? Like, when did that start, or how did it start?
American football got its start in the late 1800s. There were some very rich college kids in the Northwest. Maybe you've heard of them. And they thought, let's just mash some sports together and see what happens. So they combined rugby and soccer and had the first intercollegiate game of what would eventually become American football.
Yay! And I'm sure there was beer there. There had to be, right?
If they had invented it by then, sure. We'll have to do an episode on beer next.
On beer next.
So intercollegiate football in America had gotten its start, but it was still fledgling. It was like a soft-headed newborn. It was very weak and frail, but it needed a father.
It needed a father
to help
figure.
it along. Who was that man?
That man was Walter Camp, the father of American football, as he will ever be known. He was not integral to starting football, right? We've already said that they were already playing this hybrid mix of a game, but he was the man who said, no, this has to have structure, rules. Rules are key. And he was the one that came up with the 11-man team on offense and defense, the down system, how touchdowns work, pretty much all the rules that we know of today, besides the ones that evolved more recently. He came up with a core principle that became football. He actually started the Intercollegiate Football Association, which we can kind of point to the NCAA as kind of being that for us today. But he started that, and it was pretty much all the like Princeton and Harvard, all the Ivy League schools playing against each other. And he started that, and he played halfback and coached his team. And then after he graduated from, I think it was Harvard, he started coaching after that and was integral to the whole thing until his death.
I think he was actually from Yale. But
Was he from Yale?
What a beast. He sounds like a
He
cool
was
guy.
from Yale. I apologize. I'm sorry.
We don't
Walter
actually do
can't.
any research on this
No,
show.
we don't. No, we just have it pulled up on a huge projector screen right off camera, and we just read like newscasters.
I just have Wesley use sign language, and I try and understand. If I don't, it's whatever.
Well, we can't see. Oh, we know that one.
Yeah, I
we
understand
definitely know that
one. That's
gesture.
the middle finger one. I get that one. So, Zach, we talked a lot about football, but the real question is, why are we talking about football? What is it about this one random sport that seems to captivate people so much?
I think it's the pain. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of people hitting each other. And that's why I think contact sports are so popular, because we can't just have gladiator rings anymore where we kill people. As fun as that might be, we can't do it anymore. Have you heard of arena football? Like a subset.
Yeah, I think I have. They play on a little smaller field, right?
Right, and they
there's some other
have
rules that are
pads
different?
on the actual outside of the field.
So there's no out of bounds.
So there's no out of bounds, but you can just like
Awesome.
pulverize people into the side. Like it's a lot more violent. Yeah.
See,
it's
now
a lot
that's
more
moving in the
violent.
right direction. What I want to see are some spikes on the sides. I want everybody to have some kind of a weapon.
Right.
Probably like a blunt weapon.
Yep.
Because I don't want to see anybody going down, like with a cut off limb or something. I want a battle, right?
So imagine this. It hands the ball snaps, right? Quarterback hands it to the halfback. On defense, they have
kill
the
everyone
weapons,
is the
right?
goal.
And then the front linemen also have weapons, more defensive, maybe like shields or something that they push up against.
Okay.
So the halfback with the ball or whatever, and he's running around the edge. And when he runs around the edge, a lineman just catches him in the face with a bat.
That sounds pretty cool.
I would watch that.
So I heard about a football player, and I can't remember his name. Sorry, we have to look him up or something. But he actually, the brain trauma that he got from concussions,
Yeah.
apparently this is real stuff. This happens with boxers and stuff too, messed with him so badly that he couldn't remember who his own mother was. And
Oh.
he ended up killing her
I remember that.
very violently. And this is something we're not talking about. We got little kids that aren't even in high school yet playing football.
Yep. So it turns out that you can't get hit in the face a lot and have good mental health.
Yeah,
Apparently,
I mean,
the brain is something you need to protect.
Your brain is like this soft, delicate little thing, and when you get punched in the head or something, it's rattling around.
Yep,
inside
and
your
that's
skull.
where we see a bunch of the rules, like some of the rules now, like you can't hit people head on, stuff like that, which, I mean, is a step in the right direction, but I think they're more dodging the issue than anything else.
We need to have everybody in one of those giant
Bubbles?
inflatable bubbles. Yes.
Yep.
And
That I
would
don't
be
think
safe.
that would be quite as fun, but it would be funny to watch because their little legs are just
It'd be
sticking
like
out of the bottom.
Super Monkey Ball, but with football. I think it'd be great. Now, I'm not saying just the NFL. We should do this with all sports. Imagine bowling, but you're the bowling ball.
I'm sure they have that.
Come
already.
on, that's
now,
awesome.
I have played bubble soccer, and
Yeah.
that was really fun. That was really
Just
fun.
saying.
It was really hot and
It's a great
sweaty.
idea.
Yeah, you run around like
Oh,
this.
yeah, you wouldn't want to be in it for
Doing.
too long, especially outside. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
You can still get hurt that way though, because your little legs are unprotected.
Well, not all of us have as little legs as you do, Zach.
That's true. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this discussion of football that kind of went off the rails at the end, but I think it was fun. I enjoyed it.
It's fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. If you want us to talk about anything else specifically, comment on this Facebook video, or if you're on YouTube, leave a comment. Please hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube, or follow us on Facebook so you know when we talk about new ideas and things. Because if you didn't know anything about football, now you know, and your life's better for it, right?
I mean, you take what you can get,
Right,
guys.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
the internet.
I mean,
We made the video. Whatever.
but we really appreciate you stopping and watching. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I think you're one of the 1% that actually do. So props to you.
I love you. Thank you.
We love you so much.
You're the best.
All right, join us next week as we talk about, we don't know yet. It's up
Yeah,
to
we're gonna
you.
find out.
It's
It's a
up to
mystery.
you. See you guys.